happens when the well of creativity runs dry, leaving an artist stranded in a desert of doubt and despair. In this tale, we follow Laura, a once celebrated painter and writer, as she grapples with a paralyzing creative block. Despite trying every remedy she can think of, nothing seems to break the fog that has settled over her mind. Just when she feels she's lost all hope, an unexpected phone call from an old friend offers a glimmer of light. Journey with Laura as she ventures to a picturesque coastal village where new friendships, emotional revelations, and a dramatic confrontation with nature itself ignite a powerful transformation. Through trials and triumphs, Laura rediscovers not only her creative spark, but also the deeper wellspring of inspiration within herself. This is a story about resilience, the healing power of nature, and the enduring bond between the past and the present. Prepare to be immersed in Laura's journey of self-discovery and renewal, where every brushstroke and word penned brings her closer to the heart of her artistic soul. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the story of How to Jumpstart My Creativity, Brushstrokes from the Heart. Enjoy. Laura sat at her cluttered desk, surrounded by half-filled notebooks, dried-up pens, and scraps of paper with barely legible notes. Her once vibrant art studio had become a mausoleum of unfinished projects. Laura was a talented painter and writer, known for her vivid imagination and expressive style. But for months now, a thick fog of creative block had settled over her mind, refusing to lift. She felt a gnawing frustration, a creeping self-doubt that chipped away at her confidence daily. She had tried everything: morning routines, meditation, even drastic measures like changing her diet. Nothing seemed to work. Each blank canvas seemed to mock her, each empty page a testament to her failure. The more she tried to force creativity, the more elusive it became. She felt trapped, suffocating under the weight of her own expectations. Her mind, a jumbled mess of tangled thoughts and lost ideas. One evening, Laura received a call from her old friend Maya. They hadn't spoken in years, but Maya's voice was as warm and enthusiastic as ever. Hearing it was like a lifeline in the dark. "Laura, it's been too long. How have you been?" Laura sighed, the heaviness of her struggles pouring out. "I've been better, Maya. I can't seem to create anything anymore. It's like I've lost my touch." Maya listened patiently, then said, "I think you need a change of scenery. Why don't you come visit me? I'm living in a small coastal village now, and it's beautiful here. The fresh air and new environment might be just what you need." Laura hesitated, but agreed, desperation outweighing her reluctance. A week later, she found herself on a train, traveling to the idyllic village Maya had described. The coastal air was crisp, and the scenery was breathtaking, with rolling hills and the vast expanse of the ocean stretching out to meet the sky. She felt a flicker of hope, but uncertainty still lingered. Maya welcomed her with open arms and took her on a tour of the village. They explored hidden coves, quaint cafes, and the local art scene. Laura felt a spark of inspiration, but was still hesitant to pick up her brush or pen. The beauty of the village stirred something inside her, but her hands trembled with doubt whenever she tried to create. One morning, Maya suggested they visit an old lighthouse perched on a cliff overlooking the sea. The climb was steep and arduous, with narrow, winding paths that tested Laura's endurance. The physical exertion, was a welcome distraction from her mental turmoil. As they reached the top, panting and sweating, Laura gazed out at the horizon. The view was magnificent, waves crashing against the rocks below, the sun casting a golden glow over the water. Maya handed her a small sketchbook. "Try drawing this," she encouraged gently. Laura took the sketchbook reluctantly, feeling the weight of her past failures. But as she began to sketch the landscape, something shifted inside her. The act of drawing, coupled with the natural beauty surrounding her, reignited a flicker of creativity. She sketched and wrote until the sun dipped low in the sky, losing track of time. Each stroke of the pencil felt like a release, a shedding of the weight she had been carrying. Over the next few days, Laura found herself immersed in her work once more. She painted vibrant seascapes, wrote poetry inspired by the ocean, and even started a new series of short stories. The village, with its serene ambience and supportive community, had unlocked a door in her mind that had been closed for too long. Her spirits lifted, but a part of her feared this newfound inspiration was fragile, easily shattered. Laura also grew closer to the villagers. She learned their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs. There was Ellen, the baker who lost her husband and found solace in kneading dough. Thomas, the elderly painter who overcame blindness in one eye to continue his art. And Maria, a single mother who balanced 2 jobs while pursuing her dream of becoming a singer. Their resilience and passion inspired Laura, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that her own problems paled in comparison. One evening, Laura joined a small gathering at Maya's home. The warm glow of the fireplace, the chatter of new friends, and the shared laughter made her feel at home. Maya noticed Laura's distant look and asked, "What's on your mind?" Laura hesitated. "I've been thinking about my mom a lot lately. She passed away when I was a teenager. She was my biggest supporter, my muse. Whenever I felt stuck, she'd tell me to paint my heart out. She believed in me more than anyone." Maya placed a comforting hand on Laura's shoulder. "It's okay to miss her. Maybe she's a part of what you need to find again. Honor her memory through your art." Laura nodded, tears welling in her eyes. The emotional trigger Maya had unknowingly pulled opened a floodgate of memories and emotions. Laura realized she had been running from her grief, not facing it. The next morning, she visited the village cemetery, finding solace in the quiet beauty of the place. She sat by a gravestone, talking to her mother as if she were right there, telling her about the creative block and the journey she was on. As she spoke, Laura felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew what she had to do. On the last night of her stay, Maya hosted a larger gathering, inviting local artists and writers to meet Laura. They shared their work, exchanged ideas, and Laura felt a sense of belonging she hadn't felt in years. The warmth of the community, the shared passion for art, filled her with a profound joy. During the gathering, Thomas invited Laura to join him for a plein air painting session at dawn. Nervous but excited, Laura agreed. As they set up their easels on the cliffs the next morning, the first light of dawn painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, Thomas shared his own struggles with creative block and the solace he found in nature. But as Laura began to paint, the weather turned abruptly. Dark clouds rolled in, and a fierce wind began to blow, threatening to topple their easels. Rain started to fall, a torrential downpour that quickly drenched them. Thomas suggested they pack up and leave, But Laura, driven by a sudden surge of determination, refused. She continued to paint, her brush moving with a fervor she hadn't felt in years. The storm raged around her, but Laura was lost in her work. She painted the turbulent sea, the dark clouds, the crashing waves. Her emotions poured onto the canvas: fear, frustration, hope, and finally, triumph. When she finished, she stepped back, drenched but exhilarated. The painting was raw and powerful, capturing the essence of the storm and her own journey. Thomas looked at her work and smiled. "You found it again," he said. "Your passion, your voice." As the storm subsided, Laura felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The obstacles she had faced were not the end, but merely a chapter in her creative journey. She returned to Maya's home, her heart light and her mind buzzing with ideas. As she prepared to leave the village, Laura thanked Maya. "This place, and you, have given me my creativity back. I can't thank you enough." Maya smiled. Sometimes all we need is a change of perspective and a little push. Remember that creativity is a journey, not a destination. Keep exploring, keep challenging yourself. Laura returned to her studio with a renewed sense of purpose. The stormy climax had tested her resolve, but it had also reaffirmed her strength and passion. She continued to draw inspiration from her time in the village, knowing that whenever she felt blocked, she could always find a new path to follow. And with each new creation, she celebrated the rewarding conclusion of her battle with the creative block, a victory that fueled her ongoing journey. Laura's hands shook as she unpacked her easels and brushes back in her city studio. The silence of the apartment was deafening compared to the lively sounds of the village. She took a deep breath, her mind a swirl of emotions. She missed the village, the people, the ocean's lullaby, but most of all, she missed the peace she found there. She set up her canvas and began to paint. The memories of her time at the lighthouse and her conversation with her mother guided her brush. The painting took shape slowly, each stroke a testament to her journey. Waves crashing against cliffs, the lighthouse standing tall, the storm clouds giving way to dawn. Laura poured her heart into the painting, each color and texture a reflection of her emotions. She worked tirelessly, often losing track of time, driven by an unstoppable force within her. The grief she had buried for so long now flowed freely into her art, transforming her pain into something beautiful and meaningful. Weeks passed, and Laura's studio filled with new paintings, each one more vibrant and expressive than the last. She felt a profound connection to her work, a renewed sense of purpose. The villagers' stories, her mother's memory, and her own struggles were all intertwined in her art. One day, Laura received an invitation to exhibit her work at a prestigious gallery in the city. The curator had heard of her recent resurgence and was eager to showcase her paintings. Laura hesitated, the old fears creeping back, but she remembered Maya's words. Keep exploring, keep challenging yourself. On the night of the exhibition, Laura stood nervously at the entrance of the gallery. The walls were adorned with her paintings, each one telling a piece of her story. She watched as people moved from one piece to the next, their faces reflecting awe and admiration. A woman approached Laura, tears in her eyes. "Your work is incredible," she said. "It speaks to me in a way I can't describe. Thank you for sharing it." Laura smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you. It means the world to me." As the night went on, Laura felt a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before. Her journey, the obstacles she had overcome, and the emotional triggers that had unlocked her creativity were all worth it. She had found her voice again, and it resonated with others in ways she had never imagined. Back in her studio, Laura continued to create, her heart light and her mind open. The journey was ongoing, filled with new challenges and discoveries, but she welcomed each one with the knowledge that she could overcome anything. Her creativity was a living, breathing part of her, fueled by her experiences, her emotions, and the people she loved. Laura knew that whenever she felt blocked again, she had the tools to find her way back. The village, the lighthouse, her mother's memory, and the stormy climax were all parts of her story, guiding her through the labyrinth of creativity. And with each new creation, she celebrated not just the victory over her struggles, but the beauty of the journey itself. The key takeaway from Laura's story is a reminder that inspiration can be found in the most unexpected places. And sometimes all it takes is a change of perspective, a connection to our past, or a brave confrontation with our fears to reignite the creative spark within us. Laura's journey teaches us that creativity is a resilient force, ever present and ready to flourish, if we embrace the journey with an open heart and a determined spirit. Leave us a comment below telling us what part of Laura's story you related to the most. And remember, be nice to yourself. You deserve it.